Everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a matte foundation review. This is the part 2 of the glowing foundation review for hot and humid weather. I thought I would show you guys my top 3 matte foundations here in Singapore. And I'm just so excited because these are really my ultimate favorites. Some of them I go way back with and I can't wait to show you. So let's get started. Now, if you guys don't know what a matte foundation is, a matte foundation is characterized by a foundation that has a very high powder to oil ratio. So it's got a lot of powder in it. It's going to give you a lot of coverage, look very matte, smooth out, or pretty much blur uneven skin texture or very deep pores really well. However, people don't like matte foundation sometimes because it is very heavy on the skin. It has a lot of coverage to it, so it looks really intense. It covers a lot. It might look a little bit cakey depending on your skin texture. So if you have any dryness on your skin, I would stay away from these because it will emphasize skin texture. But otherwise, if you're looking for something that lasts all day, super 24 hours, where these foundations that I will mention to you are super long lasting. It's something that I just go to when I want to look snatch all day. All right, so the first foundation I'm going to mention is the Chanel Ultra Le Tint foundation. And this is one of my all-time favorite foundations overall, not just in the matte category. Here it says tint, and I was expecting something actually very glowing, very light, but I was really surprised by this foundation because normally we think about matte foundations as being super heavy, super creamy, and super thick, right? But this foundation is a matte foundation, but it is super thin, which is really hard to make, I think. And when I applied this, it gives me a super flawless finish. It provides just the amount of coverage, a medium to high coverage, and it is also a foundation that you pretty much don't have to apply powder after. I 100% recommend this, and let's show you guys on the face without further ado. Alright, so let's put Chanel's Ultra Le Tint on, and as you can see, the consistency is not that thick. It's actually pretty thin for a matte foundation, and it is surprisingly comfortable as well. It blends in very nicely, and at first it doesn't look entirely matte, but then it dries down pretty matte, especially if you see this in daylight and in person. It is a matte foundation. Now I'm doing the other side, and as you can see, the coverage is pretty much a medium to full coverage. I don't think it's as full coverage as the other foundations I'm going to show you later, but it is such a beautiful everyday finish and I love it so much. Alright, the next foundation I want to mention is the Maybelline Superstay 24 Hour Foundation. And this is a foundation that I go way back with. I have completed and finished probably 3 or 4 bottles in my lifetime because this was my favorite foundation in university. And why? Because it is extremely long lasting. Like, I felt like I could go from day to night with this and it wouldn't crease, it wouldn't even come off my face. However, it is the heaviest foundation out of the 3 that I mentioned here. So it is the thickest, it is the creamiest. It's almost like borderline cream, to be honest. So if you are looking for something very lightweight or daily, this might be a little scary for you to use at first. However, I 100% recommend it for anyone who needs a lot of coverage, has very deep pores, or very kind of dark scarring on their face, because this will cover it for sure. Overall, I do really love this. I'm wearing it right now on my face, and it just makes you completely flawless. It's just insane, and I really enjoy using it. So I want to show you guys on the face, and let's get started. So I forgot to press record, so I'm starting with the half face first, and as you can see, it is a full coverage foundation. I'm swatching it on the other side, and the consistency of this foundation is definitely creamier and thicker than the other 2. As you can see, for the blending part, it just really hugs the skin in a full coverage texture. It is matte upon application, unlike the previous one which had to dry down. This one is significantly more matte, more full, and more smooth than any of the other foundations that I have on. It is so flawless, guys, and I've been through so many of this foundation in my university years. Good memories, awesome to revisit this experience, but look how flawless I am. It's such a full coverage foundation and I love it. The last foundation I want to mention today is the all-time favorite Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I seriously love this foundation so much. I tell everybody about it, and it is a great medium between the Chanel and the Maybelline that I'm talking about today because it is super high coverage, but it doesn't have that creamy and thick texture. It is more of a liquid foundation texture overall. So you're not gonna get you're gonna get the coverage of Maybelline Superstay, just a little bit less, but you're gonna get the coverage of Maybelline Superstay. But I feel with kind of the thinness of a liquid foundation. So it's a beautiful balance of both, and it is definitely matte. It's gonna cover really well. It is high coverage without feeling overly thick or overly dry in my opinion. However, if you're someone who is very new to makeup, you will definitely think that this foundation is insane because the coverage is insane and you will feel it on your skin. However, for myself, having tried a ton of different foundations, I find that this is actually a very comfortable foundation to wear. It's kind of like a high heel, right? It's like we're so used to wearing a particular high heel, and then we wear something like when we wear high heels for the first time, we're like, oh my gosh. But over time, when you keep wearing heels, it is pretty normal. So anyway, this foundation is beautiful on the skin, sits really nicely, doesn't cake, lasts all day long, and it is one of my all-time favorites. So I highly recommend this as well. So let's see on the face. All right, so let's put this on. I'm swatching it on one side of my face, and as you can see, the texture is actually not that thick. It's reminiscent of a very average foundation texture. It's not too crazy, but the coverage is crazy. It's insane. It covers everything, and because the coverage is so high, it does look like a heavy foundation for a lot of people who aren't used to wearing foundation. However, if you are someone with very deep pores, scarring, or if you need to cover and get away with, you know, something that's full on, then this is for you guys because I love this foundation so much. It's so pretty on the skin. It makes me feel like super flawless. It does dry down very quickly, so you do have to blend fast if you are gonna get this, and yeah, overall, stunner. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and these are my top 3. I feel like if you're trying to find a everyday matte foundation, you don't mind splurging a little bit, I would take the Chanel Ultra Le Tint. It's has that beautiful texture that you can wear every single day without worrying it's too heavy, but it gives you the matte finish and it's stunning. And if you are someone who has very deep scars, deep pores, lots to cover, or you just want to look snatch all day and have that intense coverage that I love, then, and you're on a budget, the Maybelline Superstay 24 Hour is an amazing foundation. I love this to bits. And if you're just someone who is trying to find the middle ground between the two, you just want to look flawless, you don't want to feel it too heavy, then I would go for the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. So overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this. What is my favorite? It's really hard to say because all 3 are my favorite, ultimate favorites. But if I were to wear something every single day, I would choose the Chanel Ultra Le Tint because it's a little bit thinner than the other 2, but it gives me very decent coverage and it looks great on the skin. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video.